Welcome to the Good Place Marionville podcast. Yes, Martha's missing today, but she's pinched hit for me before, and so I'm pitching it for her today. We missed having Martha in the studio. This podcast dedicated to highlighting the good happening right here in Marionville, Missouri. And in today's episode, we're thrilled to have Marionville's varsity football coach, Paden Grubbs, here in the studio. I'm sure Bob Duda could do that better, Paden. Sorry. So let's get started to cover some of the good this week. But I just want to mention at the top of the podcast, this podcast brought to you in partnership with the Bank of Billings. We're so blessed to have a local community bank like the Bank of Billings right here in Marionville. They love the community and they support us in so many ways, including the Christmas event downtown last week, which they did a phenomenal job supporting that event, and how they help the football team and other sports in our community. Remember, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We're so grateful to the Bank of Billings for all their community support and for sponsoring the Good Place Marionville podcast. But remember, there's room for others of you to help sponsor the podcast as well. All right, school news. Paden, welcome to the Good Place Marionville podcast. It's been a busy fall for you during the high school football season, and we're all grateful for that. Thanks for taking time to sit down. I know you're winding down, the school season's winding down, because you guys get out in a couple of days, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. It's good to be on here. And finals started up this afternoon, so we have Thursday and Friday of finals to finish up, and we have a half day Friday for the glorious Christmas break.
Well, it's kind of nice this year, a couple of weeks. All right, so let's get to know you a little bit personally. How long have you lived in Marionville?
Yeah, I've lived in Marionville my whole life. I started there in kindergarten, graduated there in 2005. I grew up east of town on a farm, and we didn't do any farming or cattle or dairy or anything like that. But lived on 20 acres, so did a lot of playing outside and with my brothers and cousins, and so I've been here my whole life. It's been a great childhood all the way up till now.
Tell us about your family, wife, kids. You got any of that stuff going on?
Oh, yeah. Staying busy with them. My wife is Hannah Grubbs. She works in the school system as well.
Okay.
In the superintendent's office. She's a school bookkeeper. And then my two boys are Chance and Connor. Chance is 11 and Connor is 7, getting ready to turn 8 here in about a week. So they keep us busy, and we're staying active with them as well with their stuff.
And are they future football Comets?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, they'll be playing football. Chance has already started playing football. He'll be going into 6th grade this next year. And then Connor is we play more football at home with him right now. He's going into he's 2nd grader, going to be going into 3rd grade, but he stays really active with and competing in Ninja Warrior. So we stay busy in the fall doing that kind of stuff with him right now, and but he will be a football player.
So do you have your own Ninja Warrior course in your backyard?
Yeah, we do. We actually have.
Kidding?
Yeah. We have just some stuff set up from tree to tree where he can swing and do all that fun stuff that I can't do, but we have it set up to where he can practice and do some stuff like that at home. Yep.
Any broken bones yet?
No, we've been blessed with that so far. Between trampoline jumping and ninja swinging, we've been blessed in that area so far.
All right. So what does your career path look like? I mean, is coaching all you do, or do you do other stuff too? I mean, I don't know.
Well, just kind of background. I graduated from Southwest Baptist University. Got my first opportunity to coach in Bolivar High School. And I'm not going to give you the years because I'm not good on the time frame as far as everything goes here. But my first teaching job was actually in Marionville as far as getting paid and starting my career there. I want to say that might have been in 2013. So while I've been at Marionville and since that time, I've coached head baseball. I've been head basketball boys and head basketball girls, head track, and head football. So I've coached everything. I've been head football now for 8 years here, and it's been a great roller coaster ride of some ups and downs, and but that's kind of where I've been as far as in the coaching realm. And then this past year, I've had the opportunity to kind of broaden and take on a new challenge of athletic director. So now I guess my job title at the school is athletic director and head football coach.
Before that, were you teaching a specific subject?
Yeah, I was in PE in the weight room. So now we're blessed and fortunate enough to have a head strength and conditioning coach, and we've had that now for about 5 years. And but before that, I was in the classroom in the health as well. Now I do a lot of edgenuity and credit recovery type stuff online.
Oh, very cool. All right. Football history here in Maryville. You said 8 years, but you played football here. What position did you play when you played football here?
Back when I played linebacker and running back, and then my senior year I was linebacker and quarterback.
Which position did you like best?
I always loved the defensive side of the football, so I always liked hitting and instead of getting hit, So
Oh, okay.
linebacker was and defensive side of the football was my favorite by far.
So in the last 5 years, your varsity football team has gone undefeated in the regular season. What has that experience been like for you?
Well, it's been great. What makes it kind of special is, the kids you get to work with and the coaches that you get to work with, build relationships with, and just seeing, their work that they've put in, just being able to, reap the harvest and to be able to use their talents to, be successful and make Marionville something proud, make something that they can make Marionville proud of. It's what they're doing is unique. There's not many programs that win 10 games a year, even once every 5 years or 10 years, and for our kids to be able to do it over the course of the last 5 years, it's really something that they should be proud of. And that I know that myself and our coaches included are really proud of them for their work that they've put in.
Having 5 years being undefeated in the regular season means you've had the team that won, 9 straight games this year was a completely different team than the team 5 years ago because all those kids are all different. How have you been able to build teams like that have been able to congeal and play together year after year after year? What's your secret? Oh, maybe we shouldn't record that. The secret.
No, it's I'll tell you, there's a lot that goes with it. As far as a coach, it's kind of like a puzzle putting pieces together. Each year you're going to have some different players, like you said, so for to have a good coaching staff and to be able to kind of piece that puzzle together to bring out the best in each kid is kind of what allows us to do that. But also just the work that the kids are willing to put in the weight room in the off season to just learn and help them become bigger, faster, and stronger helps a lot as well. But I mean, any coach would tell you, and they'd be lying to you if they didn't. We've had a lot of talent come through over the last 5 years, and I've just been blessed to be here and be a part of it and kind of help develop it, and help them to understand not just the individual aspect, but the team aspect of sport and competing. And, that's what makes it special and fun, is whenever you can take an individual and use their talents and mold them into a great player and then bring the team along with it and just shape and piece that puzzle together to where, you can help them be successful.
So last year you won the state championship, and as I understand it, now I've not lived here 20 years, but 20 years earlier, you were on a state championship. The last time that the Comets won a state championship, you were on that team?
Yeah. It was really the only way I can explain it's kind of is as a God thing. God has a plan for your life, and everybody that is, and for myself to get to play for a great head coach and Will Christian and awesome teammates back in 2003. Some guys I still talk to and I still love to this day, even though I haven't seen them. Some of them I haven't seen them, since then. To be able to win a state championship back in 2003, and then 20 years later in 2023 to be able to be the head coach in the same town that you grew up in and be able to win another state championship there was awesome. It's something that you kind of dream of as a coach as far as having the opportunity to do so. But then once you finally do it, it's just extra special. And I was just so excited to be able to do it for our town and community, because I think the world of them. And, I'm just proud to be a Marionville kid and be able to coach in my hometown.
Well, I know that this town loves you, loves your full team, really loves the schools. The schools here are phenomenal. Let's talk about that secret sauce of building brotherhood and building in hard working, which you're teaching kids a work ethic as they're ready for football season. How do you build brotherhood amongst the football players?
Well, one, I think you have to get them together. I think it's not just getting them together just to play football all the time. So we try to do some different stuff throughout the year. That's not just football included. I think some of it is, I think it's good for kids to go through some hard stuff together. So it's very important to us that our kids are lifting together and working out together, specifically in the summer, to put them through some trials and and to help them, overcome and sweat, the old blood, sweat, and tears adjective there as far as putting them through some stuff that's hard to where they have to work together and teaching them how to compete and do different things to where they have to work together to be successful. I think once you kind of start doing some of that stuff, everything else kind of falls into place as far as, the love of the game and the love of competing. Hopefully the kids are already out there doing that stuff because they already enjoy doing that. So that brotherhood part is, I think you have to get them to get them together and just make them go through some hard times and let them know that they can be successful, not just individually, but as a team as well.
It's got to be hard when you've coached 5 seasons in a row. You've coached 8, but 5 seasons in a row were undefeated during a regular season. How do you help each team every week keep a proper perspective on teamwork instead of just winning in the next game? I mean, we want them to win, but sometimes you get to that spot where it could be easy to be expecting to win as opposed to having to hard work to win.
Yeah, we have a few sayings, I guess you could say, in our program. One of them's BAU, which is business as usual. And we kind of live up to that back in COVID. It kind of became our slogan in 2020 where, we didn't know if we were going to have a season or not.
Right.
So, we just want to take every day with a business-like mentality and just try to get a little bit better each day. And so I think that's part of it. And, I think another thing, too, is our core values are respect, effort, and courage. And in regards to the respect aspect of it, we try to just focus on whoever we're playing that week. In the summertime, our respect is ourselves in regards to showing up, putting in the work for not just ourselves but each other. But we never try to look ahead. And this year was really important for us to really focus on those two things, keeping things a business-like mentality, try to get better, and then just as long as we're respecting our opponent, giving great effort, and playing with courage, we feel like good things are going to happen because those are things that we can control. So we want to control the controllables, as they say. And, I think we've just done a good job as a staff and program of just focusing on ourselves and not worrying about our opponent. Because if you're fighting amongst each other or you're having problems from within, it don't matter who you're playing, you're going to be defeated in that aspect.
Almost last question, but there's a lot of exciting things going on over at the football complex.
Yep.
Share some thoughts with us about the new field house and some kind of grass that doesn't grow.
Yeah. So yeah, great news here in Marionville as far as that goes. I never thought I'd see the day in Marionville where we'd have the opportunity to do this, but we have had an individual come in, Coach Bill Rowe, another Marionville alum, come in, and he's going to be putting in a turf football field now for us at the football facility at Bill Reedus Field, and just the opportunity to get that for our community school program is unbelievable.
Why is that so important? I mean, we've been playing on grass for 80 years for football. Why is turf so cool?
Well, I think part of it is there's a few different things with it. One is time. As a small town coach, I spend me and my staff spend hours after practices on Thursday painting the fields and whatnot. So that's going to be nice to be able to have that extra time personally. But maintenance is so much less now as far as with our janitorial staff. And like I said, myself and the coaches having to put in that extra time and effort. It's going to be really good for, jerseys, wear and tear, as far as, mud and grass stains and this and that, as far as our equipment goes. Footballs, our footballs will last longer now. And, I guess it just depends on your, if you want grass or turf. Just with everything going to turf these days, the cleats that they make these days now they don't even make cleats that are technically for grass like the old screw-in cleats they used to have. Everything's molded for the turf. So I think just equipment-wise, it's really good for the kids and the cost of everything. So just the wear and tear of everything.
Wow, I sound excited. The field house. How's the field house going to help you guys out?
Yeah, the field house. The field house is going to be just facility-wise. it's just something that I feel like it's an appreciation concept for, seeing the work and whatnot that our kids have put in and our coaches have put in. It's something that we've needed. We've really tight on space in the old field house. I believe it's going on 50 years old now. So just to have the upgrade and facility.
What do you do inside the field house? Because the field is outside, but it's a field house.
Yeah, so the field house it's basically the locker room.
Okay.
So we will get to practice every day there now. And that's another thing with the turf field. I would say probably 75% of our injuries over the last 5 to 8 years have occurred on our practice fields, as far as, a little hole or this or that here or there. And, with the turf field now, we'll be able to practice every day at the game field. Our youth programs will be able to use it. Our band will be able to use it. I mean,
Wow.
anybody will be able to use it as far as in the school district goes.
And what's this construction schedule for the turf field?
Yeah, not 100% sure on that right at
But will
this
it be
moment.
ready for
but
next August?
The plan is for it to be ready by week 1 next August. They're waiting for the baseball, softball fields to get finished up first before they start the process on the high school field. Is the football field, excuse me, is my understanding. So yeah, it's the picture's beautiful. The big blue M on it's beautiful. Just the idea of not having to paint stripes again for a couple hours each Thursday night. Coach Rowe brought a tear to my eye whenever Coach Rowe told me that. I mean, I'll tell you, it's just God bless him. And I hope to be in position someday to where I can do something for my hometown the way Coach Rowe did for us.
When you're his age, maybe you could put a roof over the entire football field.
Yeah.
A dome right here in Marionville.
Dome right here in Marionville.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah. All right, as we close out our time with you, Paden, as athletic director and head coach of the high school football team, how do you feel? I'm sure you feel very well supported, but are there some things that our community can do to even better support and encourage the students in the athletic programs here in Marionville?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I'm sure let's see, off the top of my head, I always joke at the end of our football banquet, which we have coming up here in a few days. I always joke to the parents and, the grandparents and all that come to that. I joke with them about it. If you see them out and about, don't be afraid to buy them a burger here and there to get some extra calories on them. But, yeah,
or buy them a bag of burgers.
Bag of burgers, that's right. We fundraise every year, and one of the reasons for our fundraising is, and I think that's really helped our program, like any business, be able to raise a little bit of money. But whenever we start doing our golf tournament coming up here in June, is just being able to maybe do a business sign. Our signs are $100 for a T-Box sponsor. And what that goes towards is it feeds our kids throughout the year. On Monday night when we travel for JV games, we get pizza afterwards for all the kids. Throughout the course of the school year, whenever we lift in the weight room, we're able to give them food after they're done lifting. And I really feel like that's been a big boost to our program as far as just making sure our kids are physically fit and in position to be able to be successful on the field from a physical aspect. So just doing little things like that, really goes a long way for our program and has really helped us a lot.
Well, listen, Paden, thank you so much for coming on the show today, sharing a little bit about, you really are a very famous guy in town. Great to have you. There's a lot of people listening that maybe have never met you or heard from your heart, because we don't have a lot of news conferences right here in Marionville, but now you've just gone through your first news conference and you handled the questions admirably. Now, hang on just a minute, though, Paden, because we got a couple more good news things we need to share with the audience. Is that okay?
Yeah, you bet.
All right. So listen, the elementary and middle school students gathered 2,147 items for the Marionville Christmas food baskets. Jamie Bella gave us that information. That is fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
And last week, we reported some test results from the high school. Matt Price said, hey, don't forget about the rest of us. He reports to us today that last year on the MAP test, our averages for grades 6 through 8 was the highest in the area for English language arts and science, and second in the area for math. This includes areas such as Nixa, Ozark, Republic, Aurora, and much more.
Awesome.
On to our city updates. Candidate filing ends on the 31st of December, and you need to do it at City Hall. They're accepting filings for 3 alderman seats, Ward 1, 2, and 3. So if you're interested in serving our community as an alderman, Act now between now and the 31st of December. And city officials recently authorized the formation of the Marionville Economic Development Advisory Committee. This committee will be researching, surveying, and advising our city leaders to prepare for the economic future of Marionville. Their tagline is empowering Marionville's future as a vibrant community where businesses thrive and residents flourish. You could follow their activity on Facebook. Just search for Marionville Economic Development Advisory Committee, and the link will be in the show notes below. They're currently conducting a survey for businesses that are already operating inside Marionville, inside and outside of the city limits. If this has been sent to you, please complete this survey and get it back to us. If you're interested in taking the survey and haven't been contacted yet, please send an email to econ65705@outlook.com, and we'll send you the survey link. The city recently passed an updated guideline on fee structure for brush disposal. Let me just explain. If you are clearing brush on your own property, you personally, and you put it out on the curb, the city will eventually come by, pick it up, and take it out to the brush pile. But if you hire somebody to come in and tear down a tree, and you've paid somebody, they're a paid vendor here in town, they need to haul it out to the city brush pile themselves, and there's a fee that they'll need to pay at City Hall. That's for people that's their professional job because they do it in more than one's yard during the year. There's a fee that they need to pay at City Hall. All right, in events, man, last week we had 2 incredible Christmas events downtown. I want to take a minute to thank everyone that made these events possible. The Bank of Billings, Roaming Buffalo, Sonic, the Pickleball Warehouse, Alpine Wood Products and Solid Surface Designs, Barbara Neely Photography, Barry Lawrence Library, Marionville Pharmacy, Marionville Apple Fest Committee, Marionville Fire Department, and of course, Sparky the Fire Dog. Central Place, Murphy's Orchard, Marionville Ministerial Alliance, the Storehouse Bakery, and if there's any others that I missed, I'm sorry. Martha put together this list. All right. Now, don't forget about the Lions Club calendars. These things just got released last week. If you want to get one of these, $10 for one calendar, $15 for 2. And if you buy 5 or more, they're only $7 a piece. You can get them at the Bank of Billings, at the pharmacy, and of course at Smart Insurance downtown. Incredible. I believe it's in the month of August. There's a White Squirrel doing a handstand. You need to get your 2025 White Squirrel calendar. All right, great show today, Paden. So great to have you right here in studio with us. I want to thank Bank of Billings, of course, for showing their support for the good happening here in Marionville. Consider joining the Bank of Billings by becoming a sponsor for 2025 for the Good Place Marionville podcast. Contact us at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. And thanks to each of you for doing good in Marionville. We know it's contagious, so keep it up. And report the good news. Just send us an email to goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. Martha and I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm sure, Paden, you want to wish them a Happy New Year and Merry Christmas too?
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
That would be direct. Wow. A quote from which movie was that?
I believe that was Christmas Vacation, right?
I'm not. Go ahead and have to look in the archives for that one. Thanks for joining us on the Good Place Marionville podcast. Keep your eyes out for the good, and together we can celebrate Marionville.